welcome to another edition of Abbey Research Reads. I am Dr. Kristen, and I know that what I'm about to say is a shock, but I am here to talk about a book about Indigenous folks, this time in Canada, so First Nations folks. I know, someone not Dr. Erin is talking about Indians. It's amazing. But I'm sure she'll be back to talk about this book. We both picked this book up at the bookstore in Guelph, Toronto, which is outside of Toronto, Canada, a little while ago when we were there. And it was she picked a ton of books about indigeneity. I picked some, and then a lot of books about religion in Canada. None of you are surprised. But I am a just much faster reader than Dr. Erin, and I tore through this one really quickly because, as you can see, it's got a lot of awards. It's Five Little Indians by Michelle Good, I should say that. And let me read the synopsis really quick from the back, which is actually written by Jess McDarmond, who wrote Highway of Tears, which I've reviewed on this channel. In this stunning debut novel, Michelle Good opens a compassionate, devastating window into the human cost of colonialism. Through rich, interwoven stories, Michelle shows the suffering, trauma, and injustice that Canada inflicted on tens of thousands of children, their families, communities, and nations, and honors the strength, beauty, and courage of those who should have never had to endure it. Five Little Indians is a staggeringly powerful book, a vital read. I would absolutely recommend this book. No questions asked, 100%. Couple quick caveats. It's literary, so it doesn't hold your hand as much as I wish it would. There's massive time jumps, and you have no idea that they've jumped time. It's a very disorienting book, which it would not surprise me if that was Miss Good's intention, to make it as disorienting to her as the world outside of the residential schools was to her characters, but it did make it a little bit of a confusing read at times. I had to flip back and forth a lot to remember who we were talking about and how that person was connected to another person. I am also not a huge fan of literature and literary fiction. It's not how I enjoy. I very famously go on rants about why Sally Rooney is afraid of quotation marks. But so if someone is used to reading literary fiction and kind of the rhythms it moves in, you may not have as much trouble with this as I did at times. Now, when you get into the scenes and the nitty gritty of it and you kind of work past all the literary fiction trappings, it is like the only word I can use for this book is raw. It gives no fucks about you being comfortable with its content. It is going to show you exactly what the lives of these people are like. It holds no punches, all of the, pick a phrase, but it is an unvarnished look, like McDermott says, of the effects of colonialism. Particularly prescient, I think, at this time in history, as the discovery of so many mass graves is asking Canada to quickly and publicly reckon with its history of industrial schools. The United States' reckoning is coming. We have a report from the Department of the Interior that is beginning to help us understand exactly how many industrial schools there were, how many Indian schools that there were at the height of this power of shipping children away from their families to Americanize them. So it's all going to happen. And I know the Aboriginal reckoning has happened somewhat in Australia, and I'm sure that there's more work to do there as well. But the reckoning for colonization will always be ongoing. I have a feeling we as a people are not good at talking about the effects of colonization, which is why Dr. Erin and I, do the Colonizers World Tour, a YouTube series that examines the legacy of colonization country by country as we kind of traverse the world. As I record this with you, we are talking about the territory of Taiwan this week, that to whom some people it is a country, to other people it is occupied territory, and to a lot of people it is home. And we'll be unpacking the legacy of the multiple colonizations that island has gone through. And in some ways, this book is a really important reckoning and recognition of the multiple colonizations these children went through. So not only were they taken from their homes and made Western and put into schools and all this other stuff, but colonization isn't something that happened once. It's something that keeps happening. So their mental health and their inaccess to resources and, all of those kind of things. Colonization is a continual violence against the colonized. And this book does an excellent job of showing it. I absolutely recommend it, with the caveat that if you're not used to literary fiction, just be aware that some of the kind of more, to me, frustrating elements of literary fiction are very present here. I always joke that when something wins this many awards, I'm gonna have a hard time reading it. And this kind of was true. Not the subject matter, but the style and the technique and the rhythms of the writing is just not always my personal cup of tea. There were times in this one it lost me, but not in any way, shape, or form to take away from the necessity of this book. I do hope you pick it up. I have not seen it on American bookshelves, but we will link it in the downstairs. And we'll also link the link to the bookshelf in Guelph in the hopes that you could buy it directly from them if you are in Canada or they ship internationally. I don't know if they do. But I want to thank the lovely bookseller at the bookshelf in Guelph for helping me find this book and telling me how incredible it was. And yeah, he was not wrong. All right, that's it for this edition of Abbey Research Reads. If you're looking for more content about indigeneity, then definitely hop on over to our main channel, Abbey Research, where we have those conversations as frequently as we possibly can. If you're interested in more book reviews, all about how to build empathy and understanding, this is just a giant help us understand, those of us who were not shoved into industrial schools, that I talk about them a lot around here. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for always so that you don't miss a single one. These videos go up at least once a week, and we would hate for you to miss out on a book you're interested in hearing us talk about. That's all for me from now. I'm Dr. Kristen. This has been Abbey Research Reads, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.